Hey, what's up everybody? F-Baby here with another farming video for you. This time it's going to be something a little bit more generalized. I've mentioned in the past that I don't actually think that there is a lot of value in just farming one thing. I think in general you should always go out and try to farm everything you come across. A lot of times the videos I'm going to make are focused because sometimes people are looking for one specific resource. But if you're trying to make money, you shouldn't probably be just focusing on one thing. So today's route is going to be running through the Wildling Way, or running from the Wildling Way Shrine in this corner of Stormhaven up here. I didn't pull up the map because this is a pretty straightforward area. I will say that this area where ogres are throwing rocks at you is not ideal because you're going to get knocked over by rocks and it's obnoxious. But this is just a quick and easy route to farm a little bit of everything. You'll see that instead of just one specific resource, I actually have Farming Party open. We're looking at totals here. It shouldn't take me very long to reach something like 100k worth of farming. I don't like using just pure gold as the metric for how successful a given farming run was, mostly because prices change. And so you see some of these old videos and they're like, oh, you know, make 20k gold in an hour, and that's nothing now, right? Like you can make 20k gold by accident, but that was a big deal back when that video came out. So you'll see, you know, like I said, I'm using gold as our metric here, but it's not necessarily the thing you want to look at. You usually want to look at like quantities of items, but when you're just farming a general route, it can help to just see how much you're getting. I would say that if you're running any route in any zone and you're not able to get up to 100k worth of gold, if not more, in like 15 minutes or less, that's probably not a very good route because you could do better. So this one is going to take us about 10 minutes or so to run through. It is not like a crazy complex route. It is just running this little corner. You're basically going to stay between the Wildling Way Shrine and the, I believe it's Giant's Fell or Fell Giant. I don't remember what the other way shrine is called. But yeah, this is a varied route. There are a lot of mushrooms, a lot of herbs, a lot of the what are they called? Runestones. I'll have a runestone route out for Cyrodiil on Thursday to kind of go hand in hand with the Whitestrake's Revenge coming up. The only other thing I can say about this route that's like important to know is that there are a lot of other people on this route, not because it's such a good route, but because there are 2 world bosses and a sky shard in this area. I think maybe even 2 sky shards. And that will draw a lot of people who are just running to do various completion. Like, even though you don't really get anything, quote unquote, for achievements, people like to collect their achievements. People like to kill world bosses. Some world bosses drop leads, etc. The area we're running up to right now has some bears in it. These bears here are pretty good for farming leather. I might do a video about that a little bit later, but I've got 2 leather videos up. I think they're both better spots than this. But again, you won't find very many people out here actually just farming because it's not what people think of. One, I guess I should say there's not that many people who just do pure farming. And 2, when they do, they're going to other places to do it. Because they're focused on, oh, I just want to get tons of platinum because I'm farming for a competition for my guild, or I'm farming to sell chromium plating. But you need all the resources to craft. You don't want to always be buying anything. This is a great place to just get a generalized amount of resources. There's bears that you just have to kill here. They're all over the place. They respawn fast. But even then, that means you get like some scraps, etc. If you're a veteran, like long time player, this is probably not a route that you're going to use very often because you probably have enough random resources or enough gold that you don't need to go out and farm just any given thing that pops up. But if you are somebody who is newer to the game, or if you like, I don't know, if you just like spending time in old zones, like for me, I do appreciate going back to the older zones and kind of looking around. But yeah, this will be a route that newer players use, that somebody who maybe doesn't have a lot of money uses. You don't have to do stealth farming here. There's not so many enemies. The final part of this area takes us into or final part of this route takes us into an area that's covered by the Supernal Way or Supernal Order. And so there's a lot of little cultists there, but they're not hard to fight. And you can do it with like a level 10 character. It's not a problem. But yeah, this is it's nice. It's a nice stroll down memory lane. It takes me back to being a young DC character who didn't know anything about the game. I don't even think when I went through Stormhaven with my first tune that I had ESO Plus, because I wasn't sure I was going to keep playing this game. So it's, I don't know, it's a jog down memory lane. The other night I did a Sky Shard run with my guild, and both me and the GM were talking about how, you know, like going to these areas and collecting Sky Shards really feels like going back, for me 2 years, for him much longer, to a time when, you know, we didn't even really know what skill points were good for. So it's nice. But yeah, as you can see, we're already approaching a good amount of gold earned just from this. Obviously, when you're farming like just general resources, there's a few things that you can't control. Like I have a Kuda here. Obviously, you can't farm 4 Kuda. You can just up your chances by picking up rune nodes. But that's all part and parcel. That's what you're kind of hoping for, right? Like I briefly debated when I was recording this whether or not I should pick up runestones, because I don't want to, you know, show off like, oh, I got a Kuda or mundane runes, etc. And then I realized it means I also wouldn't be able to pick up any wood nodes, because, you know, then you wouldn't. Heartwood is also valuable, and that could skew the totals. But in the end, I decided to keep it in because I figured there was no real reason to exclude that stuff. That's the sort of stuff you're, like I said, you're hoping to find. And I also thought, you know, if I found an ethereal dust, I would absolutely leave that in the video. So that's my mindset here. I'm very cautious here because the first time I tried doing this, I died. This time I made it. But yeah, you can dive off that waterfall if you want. You can run back down if you want. This character doesn't have a ton of health, so I was very cautious about diving off. But so yeah, like I said, a few cultists around this area, and then you just grab whatever food, or whatever food. Jesus Christ, man. Whatever nodes are out and about. They usually respawn pretty quickly. The zone isn't a small zone. Like, you know, Stormhaven's pretty big. It's a normal size zone, and it doesn't have any sort of special like respawn timer or anything like that. But I still maintain that I believe the base game zones and zones where there are more players, resources respawn a little bit faster. And so you'll find that by the time we get back around to the start of this, back to the Wildling Way Shrine, that most resources will respawn, not all of them. But yeah, you can see that there's a lot of resources in this area. There's a couple other popular farming routes in Stormhaven. You can find really old videos showing you Rubido ore route, man. Rubido ore route that goes around the mountains in the middle near the what's that called? That Bonesnap ruins, etc. It's actually a pretty good route. I've tried it a couple times. I think that you could do a lot worse than trying to I guess record, like not record, but trying to farm there. I'll show that off later. One of the things I do want to do is actually create a general farming route or two for every zone in the game. My thought being that eventually they will do another Explorers Weekend, and you will want to find places that are not necessarily going to be swarmed by other people. And like I said a couple videos ago, I have 2 followers, and I think most people see my videos, just click to see where the location is, and then click away. Like, statistically, nobody's actually listening to this right now, so I could really say whatever I want. But anyway, the goal is to get a video for everybody, for every zone, so that people can find places to farm that are not going to be impacted by farmers. When it's Explorers Weekend, like, I think about 30% of the server population runs to Craglorn because they're like, oh, I'll get a quadruple Nirncrux, and some people will, and I've definitely done that as well. But it's not the best way to spend your time. On a quadruple weekend, you can spend an hour and probably farm an entire chromium plating. So I think that's a little bit better use than getting 4 Nirncrux. Anyway, we're almost done with this route here. We're running back as the along the road here. There's less enemies on this part. I don't remember exactly what the story is here. It's been a long time since I quested, but I believe the village was under attack and you saved them, or maybe that's a different village I'm thinking of. I will say that the DC zones have a lot of side quests that are small villages under attack that you need to save, so it kind of blurs together. But yeah, like I said, we're approaching our starting point again. You can see ahead, that's where the ogres are throwing rocks at people. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys. We're already close to 100k, and we're not even like 15 minutes in, I don't think. So that's not bad. Of course, that's buoyed by that Kuda, but even then, I'm pretty sure we would have made it under 15 minutes. So yeah, I never did the main quest on this character, so please pardon the quest markers that you see flying by. I don't think that there is. I don't think I'm missing anything. Like, I guess that's my biggest gripe with ESO overall, is that once you've done the zone quests, like the main zone quests, there's no reason to do them again except for skill points. And there are better ways to earn skill points. You don't need that many skill points for most characters. It's just, it's too bad because I like them. I actually think that I talk shit about the EP one because I think it's the least good, but overall, like, they're all fun. And so I think that, like, it would be nice to be able to go back and do something new with them. I'd love to go see King Emmerich again for the first time, but that could also just be me being nostalgic for when I wasn't so invested in this game, which is weird to say because, like, I should be happy that a thing that I really like is still going strong, but sometimes you just miss being a noob, being fresh-eyed in the world. And I guess that's what I'm pining for here, is the lack of I don't know, freshness, like the lack of new experience, lack of wonder that I'm getting out of this. Anyway, we're back to the Windkeep Way Shrine. I think I said Wildling, I meant Windkeep. But yeah, you can see here on the map, this is where we went. We just took here, we ran all around here. We went the north route, but you could go south too. It's fine. It doesn't really make a difference or matter. You can see we collected mostly Ancestor Silk, etc., but there is a lot of resources here. We didn't get a full stack of any one thing, but we did get a lot of resources. So that's the route. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment, etc. Bye.